What
That's
did I
also
say? I did
subjective.
not say that Bob Dylan's music is not great.
That also is also subjective.
No, Bob
subjective
Dylan's
thing.
music is really not great because I have a certain amount of understanding of music to
But
comment
some
upon the musicality of his songs.
But in YouTube,
You
some
have to
legends.
understand
But
that
in
Bob
YouTube,
Dylan. Let
no,
me
I'm saying
complete the
YouTube,
sentence. No, let me
some
complete.
American legends were telling
No.
that.
Let me complete the sentence. Bob Dylan has never been celebrated as a great musician like R.D. Burman or
Songwriter.
Sudhin Dasgupta. His appreciation or even his Nobel Prize was an award to his lyricist. He brought a new kind of freshness in the lyrics of songs at a particular point in history that was confined to 1960s and 70s, but that had a great influence. But Bob Dylan was never a great musician. Nobody would say that, oh, I find Bob Dylan is comparable to R.D. Burman. They belong to different leagues altogether.
Yeah, that can be.
But Shumon is different. That is where the difference lies. Shumon is not Bob Dylan.
Yeah, he's
because
very
he
low,
not
low.
no.
Low.
Shumon is a composer. He's also a composer. He's not just a lyricist, but he's also a music composer who composes, and his compositions are of a greater quality, are of a greater musical quality compared to that of Dylan. That you have to take into consideration. Right, that is my point. Dylan is, he's singing only with that, he's strumming the guitar and singing in a folk style. I don't find it appealing. Most of his songs.
But Sumon's voice nowadays
And I
is
say
very
that
I've seen.
that is also true with Bob Dylan and Leonard Cohen. Any man who ages will lose his voice, and that is particularly true for men who smoke. It was Bob Dylan's voice. If you listen to it, it's completely gone. It's
But
completely gone.
music,
It's become a
some
very
of the
raspy
music,
kind of a voice.
I'm saying some of the music of Sumon are very great, very
Not
sweet,
some.
but not.
No. It is not about music. Doesn't have to be sweet. I take objection to the fact that you find, you consider sweetness to be an attribute
No,
for
it must be appealing to
great
the
music.
ears. No,
It is
A great
appealing to
music-
my ears. That is what my point
great
is.
music must be appealing to the
One
ears.
gets accustomed to an acquired taste. So you have to acquire Shumon. You just cannot listen. Somebody cannot randomly listen to Shumon and like him. You have to keep listening to
But
Shumon.
the same thing can
you
be-
have to understand the politics of it, the politics of his music.
but same thing can be
you
gone
have
with
to
Bob Dylan
understand.
also.
No, you have to
Bob Dylan
understand.
have music.
No, you have to understand. Bob Dylan is not a musician. That is my objection. He's a folk singer. He brought in a new kind of idiom into the idea of singing, a new idiom, a new
That's why
expression.
many people also
Yeah,
tell that he's great.
he is somebody who was a departure from the traditional forms of music. Bob Dylan is a departure. Bob Dylan can be compared to Picasso, or he can be compared to Godard. Godard is not necessarily
And Kabir
Godard
Suman,
is not
art is compared to
Kabir
Mamata
Suman
Banerjee.
is somebody who is
Art
part
comparable to
of the
Mamata
same
Banerjee.
tradition. What Mamata Banerjee? You are bringing all nonsensical
No, I'm just
stuff.
saying
You are
that
not.
why-
This is a serious discussion
Yeah,
that is
I'm
happening.
just saying that why
My
don't we-
point is that Kabir Suman did not mark a departure when it comes to music. His music is deeply rooted in the tradition of Bangla Adhunik Gan. Maybe he brought in a new kind of freshness in the lyrics. He spearheaded a revolution when it comes to lyric writing. That kind of lyrics,
the
lyrics
the revolution
was
is
never
there.
written. But musically, he's rooted, in the tradition. That's why Shumon is appealing. Shumon became famous in 1992, in the 90s, because at that time Bengali music was dying, decaying. People, of those times who had grown up listening to Sholil Choudhury and Anupam Ghotok and Robin Chatterjee and Sudhin Dasgupta, Manna, Hemonto and Shamol Mitu, they were listening to songs like Proshenjit and all this kind of stuffs. So those songs, we don't even remember those songs. When you listen to songs, you will notice, or anybody who is of your father's age listening to song, he will listen to songs of the 90s, 60s and 70s of Manna, Hemonto era. So after 70s, in between 90s, before Shumon came, there is practically no good song for the Bhadralok to consume. Shumon filled that
But I
space.
think those people are consuming Hindi
just
song that
like
time.
Rituparno
But I
Ghosh.
think,
that is Hindi song, man. I'm talking about Bengali Adhunik song, Bengali music. you know, the kind of music that used to be written by let's say Gauri
Yeah,
Prasad
that's why-
Majumdar or Pulok Bandyopadhyay, and then Sudhin Dasgupta or let's say Nochiketa Ghosh would put them into tune,
Yeah,
and then Hemanto or Manna would sing.
in the
That
similar
kind of music
what
was
Suman
missing.
What Suman did in 1992 was somehow that. The same thing Anupam did in 2010.
No.
Many people say
Anupam
that.
is a very mediocre singer.
But many people say that.
No, many people say that because these people, you know, they lack.
Many
They don't
Jadavpur
have.
graduates only say that.
See, you have to understand that if you don't know where you came from, how will you appreciate where you are going? So you have to be aware of your tradition. So there's an essay by T.S. Eliot, Tradition and Individual Talent.
It can also be possible
So
that
if you are not, you know, if you are somebody who is not accustomed to that tradition of songs, that tradition of music,
But I think
then
one
you
question
cannot
I have,
appreciate.
why
you know,
are people so much
Anupam.
jealous about Kabir Suman?
Who is jealous about
You know,
Kabir
those
Suman?
who
Kabir
sing,
Suman
those
is
who
now
practice Rabindra Sangeet
no.
or
First
Bengali.
of all, Kabir Suman is a degenerated stuff of. He's not even a shadow of his former
But
self.
his music,
he has
songs
degenerated.
writing-
He has degraded, and I think, you know, when you assess Kabir Suman, you have to do it on the basis of his output of the
But some of his
90s,
creation
from
are timeless.
1992 to
But some of his
2002.
creation are
That was
timeless.
his peak time. From 1992 till 2002, that was Kabir Suman's peak time. And if you have to assess him, his talent, his genius, you know, everything, you have to do that on the basis of his output of those 10 years. After that, whatever he did in his personal life, in his political life, or whatever, the personal is the political, both are intertwined. So anyway, whatever he did, that is immaterial
But
to
I
me.
think there is one similarity. He also used the politicians very well.
No, what
yeah, he used the
politicians?
TMC government very well.
No, TMC government used him. No, he did not use TMC government. Right from the word go, he started having problem. You know, from 2009 onwards, even before Mamata came to power in 2011. By the time he came, because he had won the Lok Sabha election in 2009, he was already, you know, somebody Mamata disliked very much.
But he left the seat, left
You
the
know?
TMC seat. But at the same time, he used to praise Mamata Banerjee.
That was
well.
after 2016. So you are just, you know, jumping the timelines too fast.
So how can a man change?
You know,
Is he
you
not a
are
hypocrite?
confusing. No, he's not. He became a hypocrite after 2016-17. But by that time, he was already past his prime. He was already past his peak. And whatever he might have done in his personal life or in political life, that is immaterial. I will judge him on the basis of his songs, which I think
About how many
are
songs? how
great
many
and
albums?
timeless. Yeah, he
100
would.
songs?
He roughly produced one album every year, I think.
Comprising
so,
of 5.
comprising of, I don't know. You can check 10 to 12 songs, I think, or maybe more, or maybe
So
a bit less.
basically, if you want to understand the greatness of Kabir Suman, how many songs we can take? 100. Best
It's very
prime,
difficult to
Kabir Suman's prime, 100.
give a number, but I think 10 songs are enough. For me, 10 to 20 songs are enough. I know.
This
You
is
have
very
to.
low.
What low? 10
Like,
to 20
we
songs are
compare
enough.
we compare the prime time of
No,
Lionel
that is
Messi
true
with,
for any musician.
you know,
That is true for even if you look at a Kishore Kumar,
Yeah,
somebody
lot
like
of
Kishore
achievement.
Kumar, he had sung a lot of nonsense songs. So when he performs in concerts, he chooses when he used to perform, because he has been dead since 1987. But whenever he used to perform in any concert, he would choose the best 15 to 20 songs, right? So that I think is the is the corpus, right? The main corpus or the main body of work, right? So on which we will base our assessment of a person, a musical person. But to come back to your original question, the difference between Kabir Suman and Bob Dylan, and I want to rephrase it again.
So basically,
no, let me finish.
I want to summarize what you were trying to say.
No,
that we can say that Kabir Suman is great because of the contribution to Bengali music, right? In terms of lyrics, in terms of songwriting, in terms of music.
Yeah, but he
because there was a
no, you have to. There was a vacuum in that
but
period.
at the same time, I want to say Messi became great by playing against
See,
Ronaldo.
these are you are putting this is a very nonsensical comparison. Messi is a footballer and Shumon is a singer, songwriter, composer. Also, one more fact that you have to take into consideration and you have to be conscious of
But you know,
was Kabir Suman was the only musician, first time in the history of Bengali music, barring a one or two exceptions, sporadic, who wrote his songs, who put them into tunes and who performed them. This is a very rare feat.
Yeah.
And this is very rare feat even by the standard of the world. I mean, this has happened very less number of times. People writing
Michael
their own
Jackson.
songs, people composing them, and people singing them also.
But out of that 10 songs,
And at least that never happened in Bengal. You know, Hemanto, Manna,
Yeah,
Shamon,
Anupam-
all of them
Anupam
were
is
great.
doing that.
All of them were
But
great
Anupam
singers.
is doing that.
Anupam is an absolute nonsense. If you compare the tonality of his voice with that of Kabir
But if
Suman,
you compare the
you
music,
listen to Kabir
some of
Suman.
him, some
No,
some
you
music,
don't
some
understand.
music,
No,
some,
no,
some,
Kabir
some.
Suman,
2-3 at least, 2-3.
No, 2-3 is nothing, man. You have to at least produce a body of work, 20 to 30. What Anupam is a very bad singer who uses auto-tune, from what I have heard from people who have walked with him, you know, because he cannot get the notes correct. But Kabir Suman, there's no you cannot compare Kabir Suman, a genius like Kabir Suman, with that of Anupam. I mean, Anupam is very much, you know, he's a very shallow kind of a singer songwriter. I mean, his compositions, you have to understand musical composition, right? You have to understand prelude.
Like
You
if
have
we
to
want
understand-
to keep Kabir Suman, in which league we would keep? Like Pete Seeger or
No, he cannot be. I would put him in the same league as that of Sholil Chowdhury in a way. You know, Sholil Chowdhury was a political singer, not a singer. Sholil did not sing. He could sing, but he did not have that kind of a good voice. So he composed and he wrote. You know, Gayer Bodhu and Ranar Choleche. These were written by, I think, Shukanto, some of them, but many songs he do. Dhitang Dhitang Bole. So those kinds of song. Duranto Ghurni, এই লেগেছে পাক. So Sholil Chowdhury, I would say, you know, he fits into that tradition.
So Kabir Suman is great because just he was the last man standing in the row in the Bengali music for about 10 years, a decade. That's why he's great.
No,
In
Kabir
terms
Suman,
of political
not
songs
that.
he
No,
wrote, in
no,
terms
no,
of
no,
lyrics,
no.
in terms of music.
Also
in the terms of
because
depth in
Kabir
the music.
Suman did something which no one has done before, which I just told you. You know, he used his platform for political expression through his songs, artistically, not sloganeering, not giving a speech like Mr. Modi or Mamata Banerjee or Shubhendu Adhikari. He expressed his political wisdom, his discontentment with the regime through music.
Just like Dylan did it in 1965.
No, Dylan did it for a very brief period of time, 1960 to 65. And then he switched into a different mode. I'm not saying that Dylan's lyrics were, you know, bad or something like that, but they were not
But
directly
no, Kabir
political.
Suman did it. I mean, Kabir Suman
Also, but
criticized the
Kabir
government
Suman
at the
was
center,
doing
but
it.
not the
No,
government
you have
at the
to
state.
take into consideration. See, it's very difficult to, you know, explain Kabir Suman if you do not listen to his songs. Kabir Suman brought in a fresh kind of expression, language wise, you know, the kind of language that he was writing while composing his songs. I'm talking about the lyric.
Rabindranath did it
No,
long
no,
back.
no. Kabir, that is, you don't understand
Ko-
anything.
I-
Rabindranath is dead in 1941, and Kabir Suman, that is the problem.
I mean, you were saying
our
because of the
lyricist,
because of the
our
period.
lyricist,
At that
my
time,
point.
no one was there, right?
Our lyricists like Pulok Bandyopadhyay and what was Gauri Prasad, were great lyricists, but the problem with these lyricists were they were following the path of Rabindranath. Just like in poetry, you had Shunil, Shakti, you know, who these people marked a departure from Tagore. They created a new poetic expression, you know. So if you read Shunil, Shamar Sen, Shankha Ghosh, that was
one
not,
thing-
let me finish, that was not happening in Bengali lyrics when it comes to Bengali song lyrics. It happened in poetry. Shakti and Shunil and Utpal and all these people, you know, Bhaskar, they were doing experiments in poetry, but nothing of similar nature was happening in when it came to songwriting or lyrics, musical songs. I mean, music lyrics. Not music-wise. Music-wise, we were very ahead of time because
So,
Shudin Dasgupta
any
and
future generation inspired from Kabir Suman?
many. I mean, Nochiketa himself is. He may not say it now, but back then in the 90s, he has. See, had Kabir Suman not released Tomake Cha in 1992, there wouldn't have been any Anjan Datta or Nochiketa. Just like had Satyajit Ray not released Pother Panchali, there wouldn't have been any Mrinal Sen or Ritwik Ghatak. You have to understand this, and therein lies his greatness.
But they were three
You know,
contemporary, right?
he wrote
But Satyajit
phrases.
and all
No,
three.
you have to listen to his songs. 10 foot by 10 foot. Those kinds of songs were never written. Roddur, he writes a song about Roddur. Roddur, warmth.
And Bidhashram, that
No,
Nochiketa.
Bridhashram, Nochiketa, it's a different debate now. Nochiketa or Shumon, but then I don't want to go into that debate because let's keep ourselves
Then,
confined to
Doctor,
Shumon.
that also a political song.
No, that is a
Maybe,
the problem with
the language is not
Nochiketa's
that great,
song-
right? You want to say
no,
the lyrics
not
is
just
not
language, but the question
fieldy,
that
or you can say
bigger
that it's a
question, the bigger
it's-
question that you are not asking is why the language is not great. The language is not great
Because the
because
literature
they
is not much
no
depth.
because it is very it no
Standard
longer
of audience, like it's a very third class in
Let me
itself.
finish. No, let me not. First of all, it's very populist, and secondly, it is very contemporary. It ages very fast. If you listen to Nochiketa's songs after 50 years, they won't be relevant. But if you listen to Shumon's, the kind of lyrics, and that is the hallmark of any great piece of literature.
one thing I
That is
just
a
want to
hallmark
say.
of any great piece of literature, be it film or
Yeah,
poetry.
one thing I want to
that
say.
they are still they
Yeah,
still
but
feel.
one thing just because something is populist, that doesn't mean it's not relevant.
No,
or
it's not
great.
about being populist because Kishore Kumar songs
But the
are
message,
also very,
but the message
no,
is going to.
message is not the point here.
But
the, the
you just say the
content-
kind of Kabir
No,
Suman.
Kabir Suman
But you just told.
as-
Listen,
no,
listen.
no, no,
Let me
finish.
Let me also finish. You just said
No, no, no,
few
no.
minutes back the
Kabir
kind of
Suman's
political messaging
expressions,
was
no,
he was
my
giving
point
through his
is-
platform without raising slogan.
No.
That was,
First of all, you
2
have to
minutes back you
understand.
replied that.
No, you have to understand one thing, that Kabir Suman's expressions are more global, international. There is
But
a
you
kind
know,
of
why is not even recognized beyond Bangladesh?
internationalism
And
because he wrote in Bengali, and Bengalis are
we
hardly
should,
spoken by
no,
1 or 2%
do we should nominate
of
him
the
for Nobel
population,
Prize?
world
And
population.
do we should nominate?
Had he been translated, I think he would have been. But I
But
don't
he's
think
well researched in
no.
Germany, but still not in a
no,
Nobel.
no. He never wrote. Nobody bothered to. This is how we treat our talents. But I'm not saying that. And had
Yeah,
it
one
been,
day
had
somebody
he
was telling me
been-
that,
No, I'm
like
not,
Sunil Gangopadhyay literature
no,
translated
no,
would have been.
No.
Somebody
Sunil
was.
is- These are very bad things, nonsense.
You would have never won
also.
Nobel Prize, you were saying.
No, he would still not have won Nobel Prize because
But
see,
Kabir
Nobel
Suman
Prize
might have
doesn't.
won, right?
Salman Rushdie has never won a Nobel Prize. Amitabh Ghosh has not won. Arundhati Roy has not won. Tara Shankar, Manik Bandopadhyay, Jibanananda Das did not
Because
get Nobel
somebody
Prize.
better in the queue is there.
No, not somebody. There's a lot of politics in giving prizes. It's not that's black and white. You need publishers, you need money to flow in, you need attention, and you need this and that. So that is a different nexus altogether. Just like film festival markets are.
Yeah,
It's
similar
not about
happens in
good film or
Ballon d'Or,
bad
everyone
film,
says that.
What Ballon d'Or?
You don't.
Why are you bringing football into the thing? This is very. We're having. Music and football are completely
I mean,
apart.
there are discussions that Ballon d'Or is given a populist award.
No, every award is mired with some kind of controversy, right? So, but Shumon, if you want to understand the greatness of Shumon, and I want to reiterate it again and rephrase it and underline it,
The best.
you have the best way to know
the
him
best
is
10
to
songs
listen.
which defines Kabir Suman.
No,
or
let me
understand.
finish. You cannot, it's not engineering like 10, 20, 30, stats don't work
Yeah,
here.
yeah. But you
No,
told
my
me that
point is, let
beyond
me
2002, some of his songs are just
my point is that if you want to understand the greatness of Shumon, you have to listen to his songs. You have to listen to his songs in
What
order
was
to
the best
understand.
album? What was his best?
You also have to be aware
best
of
album.
the songs. You need to have a certain kind of musical awareness of your tradition, awareness of your past, and then you can understand where
So
Kabir
basically
Suman
you
marked
have to-
a departure.
So basically,
where he went,
okay,
ahead
so
of
you
these
just trying to
people.
say that. So basically, if you want to understand Kabir Suman's greatness, we must understand where was the Bengali songwriting coming and How did
Yeah,
Kabir
you
Suman
have
change
to
the direction
understand
actually?
the flow of Bengali music, Kabir Suman liberated Bengali music. No, I'm not saying that he liberated Bengali music, Bengali lyrics. Music wise, he was part of that same tradition, and that is why he's also great. The reason why Anupam is not great is because Anupam have not listened Shudhin Dasgupta, Nachiketa Ghosh, have not absorbed them like Kabir Suman has. Right. So
But
Kabir
he
Suman
says
has
that-
absorbed.
But he says that he has studied Pink Floyd and many other.
No. I have never heard Kabir Suman. Pink Floyd is a rock musician, and it's. I think we should end it over here, and our listeners have understood what we.
তোমার আমার স্বাধীনতা, রক্তের মতো লাল স্বাধীনতা, তোমার আমার স্বাধীনতা, আকাশের মতো নীল স্বাধীনতা, যেন সংগ্রাম আনে স্বাধীনতা, যেন ভাবনা আনে স্বাধীনতা। 47 নয় স্বাধীনতা, 47 আনেনি দেয়নি স্বাধীনতা। তোমার আমার স্বাধীনতা, রক্তের মতো লাল স্বাধীনতা, তোমার আমার স্বাধীনতা, আকাশের মতো নীল স্বাধীনতা, যেন সংগ্রাম আনে স্বাধীনতা, যেন ভাবনা আনে স্বাধীনতা। 47 নয় স্বাধীনতা, 47 আনেনি দেয়নি স্বাধীনতা।